Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today I got to give you an update on the whole Tiffany A. Henyard, aka the Super Mayor, fiasco that is going on in Dolton, Illinois, because recently she decided to throw a party that is estimated to cost $85,000 while she is currently under investigation for misappropriating funds. And luckily, in this particular instance, it appears that the Dolton trustees were able to catch and stop her before she used taxpayer dollars from Dolton in order to do this. But I will point out that this is also something that is very sketchy and possibly illegal, because this was low-key a campaign event, which will be explained to you throughout the course of this video. Again, taxpayer dollars that were being utilized in order to raise money for her campaign, and she thought she could get away with this while she's under federal investigation. It's absolute madness. But before we get into that, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
Hey guys, hey! It's your Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor.
The Super Mayor took to social media to promote her party. There was a bounce house, skating, and a food giveaway.
But I spend my own money to make sure that I put on for myself. Somebody put my money in my mouth.
Henyard said she paid after trustees refused.
So right here, you have Tiffany Henyard making the claim, we'll see if that proves to be true later, that she ended up paying for this party, which I definitely 100% doubt, because apparently it costs in and around $85,000 out of her own funds just to show everybody how much she cares about the people. Now, of course, we know she doesn't care about the people. We know that funds have been misappropriated like crazy, but part of the reason why the Dolton trustees didn't want to give her money for this, other than the fact that she's shown herself to be entirely untrustworthy with the taxpayer purse, is because of what the event's name was. And there's a big surprise that is going to surprise none of you in the premise of this event.
They're trying to control her spending and were skittish because the event was advertised as the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic. That's also the name of her campaign fund. Her lawyer denies it was a political event, but it's clear the bash was meant to bolster Henyard's image as she faces a federal investigation into her spending in Dolton, where she's the mayor, and Thornton Township, where she's the supervisor.
Yeah, that's right. So this was called the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic, which coincidentally is the exact same name of her campaign fund. So if people decided to show up and they decided to contribute money to this, this was very likely effectively going to go to her campaign coffers, and thus was another way to scam the public. On top of that, this is obviously an event meant to promote her. It's called the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic, so even if it wasn't directly affiliated with her campaign, it is basically campaign activity, and she wanted to put the Dolton taxpayers on the hook for this, which is absolutely disgusting. Now, I am certain that she managed to finagle some taxpayer dollars into this, because again, at an estimated cost of $85,000, there is no way she paid for that out of pocket.
And for those that don't know, let me make sure I'm crystal clear about this. I ain't never took a damn thing in my life. So I want to make sure y'all hear it out of my mouth.
So let's be clear about something, and I want you to hear it out of my mouth. Tiffany A. Henyard quite literally is a thief. She stole from cars. She was arrested for breaking into them while she was a member of the Dolton trustees in the city of Chicago. And yes, she is in fact a thief, a petty thief back then, and a thief now on a grand scale.
Let's start with the party's location. It was held at a skating rink Henyard commissioned in Dolton with an initial estimated cost of $269,000. WGN Investigates had to sue Dolton to get Henyard's administration to release credit card records, and we noticed a $17,000 charge to a roller skate wholesaler.
Now look, you guys who are uninitiated in the whole Tiffany A. Henyard fiasco might not understand the significance of that $250,000 plus spent on this skate rink. Well, the thing that you need to know about this is that even though in theory this skate rink is something that is for the community, is for the village of Dolton, as it is paid for by the taxpayer, in reality it is only open when Tiffany A. Henyard herself is doing an event at that roller rink. So you have this person who spent nearly $300,000 when you factor in the construction and of course the skating stuff that is associated with this of taxpayer dollars on this thing that is supposedly for the children, for the villagers in the village of Dolton, while, by the way, she is not paying for the healthcare and pensions of her firefighters, not making payments on the police vehicles, and they're under threat of being repossessed. And you can only use the skate rink if you go to a Tiffany A. Henyard sponsored event, which is one of the most crazy things that you can possibly imagine, one of the craziest things you could think of, and yet it continues after she's under FBI investigation. That is how bold and brazen she is.
I'm thinking that's for the roller skates that the residents never got a chance to use.
Dolton trustee Tammy Brown says Henyard's rink doesn't keep regular hours. Skycam 9 flew over on a beautiful Friday evening, and no one was there.
It's only open when she's there or she's having an event.
So yeah, as you can see, perfect day to skate. There's no hours. It's not open. It's not taking any fees from the residents. If you wanted to take your kids skating, you can't do it because this is her own personal, almost $300,000 skate rink for her exclusive self-promotional events.
At Tuesday night's meeting, trustee Andrew Holmes resurfaced. The Henyard ally is under investigation after a village employee accused him of sexual assault on a taxpayer-funded trip to Las Vegas. He denies wrongdoing and defends Henyard's leadership.
So this is Trustee Holmes. If you don't remember, this is the guy that is accused of a sexual assault out in Las Vegas. And I just want to point out that he showed back up to the village of Dolton for their board meetings, and he's not even wearing a suit. He went from Trustee Holmes to Trustee Homeless. Thank you. I'm here all day. Comedy, people.
If it's anything that was criminally done, it will be out there. The children are having fun, the families are having fun, and things are getting done.
So this guy right here says, listen, if there was anything criminal related to the super mayor, then it would be out there. It would be out there in the public, not realizing that he's talking to the local news about the different various bits of criminality that are going on in the village of Dolton. There's a state investigation, there's the Lightfoot investigation, there's the FBI investigation, and maybe other additional yet to be announced investigations into a bunch of different people, including himself. Now, technically, he is not under investigation criminally for the sexual assault because that took place in Las Vegas, not in the village of Dolton, so it's a jurisdictional issue, but he is also under investigation in terms of the village for his conduct on an official village trip.
This was in the box. We got greens. We got greens, beans, potatoes, you name it. Look at that.
Henyard frequently promotes the township's food pantry, but she's been accused of distributing the boxes with campaign messages. The Greater Chicago Food Depository performed a spot check Tuesday and reminded the township its food can't be used to promote a politician.
So one of the things that I love is that you have a party, something to promote Tiffany A. Henyard, the super mayor. It is called the Friends of Tiffany Henyard Picnic. It costs around $85,000. And throughout the course of the party, she is giving out food to the residents. And remember, she's telling you that she spent all the money herself, and they're in boxes that highlight that it comes from the super mayor. But come to find out that that actually comes from the pantry that is, again, funded by the taxpayers. So even if she's not using taxpayer dollars directly in order to fund the bouncy houses and all these other things, she's using taxpayer-funded employees to manage the event, and she's handing out food that is meant to be given to people who are poor with her name on it that is paid for by, guess who? The taxpayer.
None of that food comes from the Chicago Food Depository, so they called us about your fake complaints the other day. We already got all that straight.
That's Keith Price, who runs the food pantry. He tells WGN Investigates the food boxes came from township surplus.
So I don't know what it is about Tiffany A. Henyard and getting dumb-sounding allies named Keith. She previously had Keith Freeman, who, of course, appears to have turned on her at this moment in time, and now she's blaming him for all the different misappropriations and whatnot in order to dodge accountability. But this guy says, look, that's not anything illegal. We got a bunch of phony-ass complaints related to this, but the fact is she's allowed to give away this food as she wants. But when you boil down their claim to what it actually is, you hear them say that it's a township surplus of food, and again, that still means it's taxpayer-funded food. It is under the custody of Thornton Township, and it for damn sure should not be given away at a Tiffany A. Henyard campaign event in the village of Dolton. So right now, they're co-mingling both of her government offices, which is the head of the Board of Supervisors for the Thornton Township, with her other position as the Dolton Village Mayor, and they're doing it right in front of your face while claiming to be completely innocent.
But y'all missing the biggest point. You got people like myself that care about community that people try to stop. People will always try to stop things they cannot control. That's what it's all about. Someone young, vibrant, energetic like myself, who cannot and will not be bought, is the one that's constantly moving forward.
People always try to stop stuff they can't control. That's what it's all about. Someone young, energetic, like myself, is always gonna fight for you, and by fight for you, I mean I'm going to steal from you and then give you crumbs back on your own resources as I go on luxury trips to places like Las Vegas, stay in 5-star hotels, run up the bills on 2 different sets of taxpayers, because that's how I roll. I mean, come on, are we really serious? This woman has a persecution complex as well as everything else. Now, we already knew that this was true. She had her infamous black woman that's in power and she's being attacked, and everybody should be ashamed for going after her speech.
Because y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. All the stuff that y'all did to get people to come to our community, to just diss and down our community. Shame on y'all.
At the village board meeting, but is she serious with this?
Henyard has frequently been accused of mixing political and public money. Those newly obtained spending records show Dolton taxpayers footed the bill for more than $8,000 worth of hotel rooms during an event for Henyard's namesake cancer charity last year. The charity has now been shut down by the Illinois Attorney General.
So yeah, while Tiffany Henyard says they're just trying to stop her because she's young and energetic and cares about the people, obviously you just saw that the local news had to sue the village of Dolton for credit card statements, and they discovered that for her non-real charity, because it never filed the appropriate paperwork, she charged the village of Dolton over $8,000 for hotel rooms on this particular walk. Now, you guys will remember that the day that the charity was incorporated, she ended up appropriating money from the Thornton Township taxpayers to the tune of $10,000 to that specific organization, but without any filings with the state of Illinois, they had to shut it down because it's not a legitimate charity. So she is taking your money as taxpayers, using it for 5-star hotels, funneling it to a charity that bears her name, that she, again, called for people to appropriate money to, and the only person who doesn't believe that this is criminal is Roland Martin, whose dumbass actually was lied to directly to his face about this, and he bought into it.
From the Attorney General's office, I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation?
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy. I'm not
You have
deranged.
Tiffany Henyard Cares, your foundation. So the Attorney General's office hasn't reached out to you regarding your foundation?
So I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation. I am a supporter of anybody that's struggling with cancer. My mom had breast cancer, and I'm always push anybody that has that. If someone uses my name to push their charity, or if you say this is Tiffany T-shirt, people gonna buy it. Because right now, consider what? Clickbait. People make money off of my name by views. So you just say my name.
You say you don't have a foundation.
I do not. And that's
Okay.
why I tell everybody, go do your research. I'm not on anything.
But if you had, so there were folks with signs saying Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. Who was that?
What do you mean? It's everybody. Everybody was there.
No. What I'm saying is, what is the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation? You said it's not affiliated with you at all.
Correct.
Well, what is it?
So someone made up a foundation. They named it after me, and they like my work that I do in the community, and it's called Tiffany Henyard Cares. So we all went.
But they weren't registered. Have you contacted them and told them you can't use my name improperly?
Well, my lawyer's handling a lot of that stuff, so all I can tell you that I'm not the one on anything. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. So I'm just trying to answer to the.
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
So you're
true.
not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay.
Again, imagine being Roland Martin, an adult, college-educated person in the media, and being told by Tiffany A. Henyard, after you see a clip of her announcing the Tiffany A. Henyard Foundation, after you see videos of her appearing in the Tiffany A. Henyard charity walk, that she has nothing to do with the Tiffany A. Henyard Foundation. Only a radical, race-obsessed leftist like Roland Martin could actually believe that, and it's embarrassing that he did.
God wanted me to lead the people. God knew that I wouldn't take no mess. He knew that I would stand strong in the fire for you.
Yeah, so I absolutely love that last part. The super mayor is now saying that God knew that she was the person chosen to lead the people, that she would stand strong, that she would stand up for you, thus making her achieve the God Queen status as she is anointed, like Kim Jong-un, by the Lord to be your ruler. Now look, I'm starting to really worry about this whole situation in the village of Dolton, because as allies of the super mayor get picked off, as investigation after investigation information gets closer and closer to her, she's starting to go even more crazy. She's starting to get even more unhinged, and now she's talking about how God ordained that she would rule Dolton because she's the only one who could stand up to all this corruption and false allegations, as she likes to say.
False allegations and not facts.
And as funny as this woman is, I do want to point out that there are already accusations that she sent somebody to initiate a drive-by shooting against one of her political opponents, and she has not been one who has hesitated to use police power against her political opponents. But I want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. As usual, if you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me, support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the super mayor claiming she was chosen by God to rule. Till next time.